Amid the battles in state legislatures and governor's mansions over banning books, a Bay Area author has found her children's book in the crosshairs. Love in the Library is a story of love amidst the horrors of the Japanese-American internment experience. It's the work of Oakland resident Maggie Tokuda-Hall, and apparently too controversial for Scholastic Books. Joining us live now is author Maggie Tokuda-Hall. Maggie, thanks for joining us.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Like, you've written several best-selling children's books, and your latest, Love in the Library, is a very personal one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the true story of how my maternal grandparents met in Minidoka, Japanese incarceration camp during World War II.
And of course, since you mentioned your grandparents, I should mention you are the daughter of retired legendary Bay Area TV news anchor Wendy Tokuda and former TV producer Richard Hall, son of the legendary game show host Monty Hall. And so it is Wendy, her parents, your grandparents' love story as told and how it happened during their internment experience. So you put that in a children's book, and what was your goal there? What do you want the story to reveal?
I wanted to tell a couple of things to kids. First of all, I wanted to be able to address the kind of awful state-sanctioned racist violence that is perfectly legal in our country and has been in many instances, and exactly what my grandparents experienced. But I also wanted to be able to show the incredible strength of the marginalized groups that these sorts of policies target, that we can do things like fall in love under the most horrendous circumstances, and to highlight our incredible strength as a community.
All right, so what we're showing here is your blog, and you revealed that Scholastic had a problem with part of the book. And what was it that they had a problem with and wanted you to change?
Yeah. So in my author's note, I'm really careful to situate what happened to my grandparents in American history. And they excised an entire paragraph comparing it to any kind of context, anything that happens that's similar to it. But they also removed the word racism from the author's note altogether.
And so did you go back and say, hey, the whole Japanese-American internment experience actually happened because of racism? Or what was it that you said to them?
I said absolutely not. I said that they were not up to the responsibility of licensing my book if this was the kind of edit that they were proposing. And I tried to make it absolutely clear that in my resounding and hard no, I wanted to communicate that books about Japanese incarceration are banned anyway. Baseball Saved Us has been banned. They Called Us the Enemy has been banned. Our stories have already been deemed dangerous. Trying to cede ground to these book bans preemptively won't do any good. It'll never be far enough. Just by dint of our identities, we've already been considered, inappropriate for children. And so I hoped that Scholastic would think about this moment going forward as they consider how to act during these rising book bans, because I know I would have. And I think that if I had not said no, if I had not made this public, no one in that company would have ever thought about it again.
Right. Now, do you see a parallel here between this and the College Board changing its AP African American Studies to take away or water down sections on Black feminism, queer studies, and Black Lives Matter activism?
Yes, absolutely. I think it is all part of the same movement to kind of return us to the comfortable pablum of jingoism in the way that we talk about our history. As somebody who is also Jewish, it is really difficult for me not to see parallels to other instances when books have been banned and told that certain people's stories are not worth listening to at all. It is the groundwork for doing harm to those people's bodies. It is the groundwork for eradication. And so I find it really frightening, and I find it terrible. And I know that that is not what Scholastic is trying to do. And I don't mean to demonize them for, existing within capitalism. But I do think that ceding any ground to somebody who cannot be appeased without the complete silencing of marginalized people does not serve anyone, and it definitely does not serve children, and it does not serve literature.
Right. That existing within capitalism part, I imagine, Scholastic has not gotten back to us with a response, and I don't know if they said this to you, about the realities of publishing when you have 24 states that may threaten retaliation, or perhaps where they publish a book but can't sell in those states. Is that something that, is there a place where authors and publishers can meet on that?
I don't think that it's an author's place to meet that. I think it's the publisher's place. Publishers have a lot more power than people do. They're large corporations. I'm a lady who lives in Oakland. My
Right.
power to combat this situation alone is not nearly as potent as a multi-million-dollar corporation with reach into 90% of the public schools in the country. I
Right.
think that the time has come for publishers to start throwing their weight around a little bit and forcing this as a legal issue.
And
How far
that
does
is
the First Amendment go, really?
and that is the thing with Scholastic. It is so big. And so now what do? Will you find a different publisher? Is that, what?
Oh,
I'm sure you're crushed that it wasn't going to be Scholastic in some way.
yeah, it is crushing. Scholastic has reached the way that no other publisher does.
Yeah.
To be clear, this was a licensing agreement. So this book has already been published by Candlewick Press and has been out for a year and available for sale this entire time. Scholastic just wanted to be able to repackage it to go into classrooms. And I am really heartbroken that as it stands right now, I've had to pass on that opportunity because it came at far too high of a cost. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to know in the time that we had left, what is your message here ultimately to readers, to parents, to children? I've heard your message loud and clear to publishers.
For the rest of us, there can be no healing without truth. There can be no reconciliation. There can be no genuine progress without actually addressing what has happened in our history in a truthful way. Just the same way as you can't apologize for something if you never change your behavior. And as it stands, we have not changed our behavior. We're not ready to heal. And that starts with just a truthful recounting. And so for parents sharing books like this, but there are so many available to cover these kinds of histories, is of incredible importance. And for children, being curious about the truth is healthy and good. And sometimes feeling bad about something that you learn about is part of learning and is part of making you a better and wiser person.
Maggie Tokuda-Hall, author of Love in the Library, thank you so very, very much. And please give your mother our best. And father, all your relatives. Thank you so much.
I'll tell them both. Thank you so much.
All right, take care.